launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
I'm all discombobulated this morning. What's up, man? My headphones aren't working. We got so much to talk about this morning. What's up, Nick Gaddis? How are you?
The Rays got you all discombobulated this morning. The Lightning got you discombobulated. Everybody's got you discombobulated at Tampa Sports right now.
This is how I feel like. I'm like, headphones are screwed up. Everything's screwed up. I mean, what's going on in this world? It's actually just more of the same, to be quite honest. It's no shocking development.
No, it's not.
It really isn't. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. I was texting with Palermo last night and today. We should have him on today to go for a little rant. I mean, the Rays are such a curious group, a big trade yesterday with Austin Meadows. And you're texting me right away. You're like, what the F? We have so much to get into today with the Rays and Stu Sternberg. I guess this morning Eric Neander did a little Q&A with Mark Topkins, so we'll get some quotes there. But just another bizarre moment in this We Are the Rays soap opera that we have here. We had an interesting national championship game last night that we're going to get to and talk about that as well. I think a most memorable Final Four. The Lightning last night. Obviously, I was there at that game last night, and the post game was almost as interesting. I don't know what the hell's going on with the Lightning. Actually, I do. I do know what's going on with the Lightning. We're going to share a bunch of different things, and certainly a storyline that you have not heard. Trust me on this one, that we'll share a little bit later on in the show when we talk about the Lightning. Lots to get into there. We got a lot of good sound from John Cooper, Patty Maroon, Victor Hedman. Lots to share on that front as well. We got Gronk news. Gronk was on yesterday, I think, with a station up in New England, talking about his future. I think we can glean something from that audio as well. I mean, it is a big, and of course, Tiger Woods. Did you see the galleries on a Monday at Augusta yesterday for Tiger Woods?
For a practice round.
My God.
You think he's good for golf?
Yeah, well, not according to Curtis Strange this morning. I'm like, Tiger's stolen the show here today, he said with disdain this morning. I'm like,
me a break.
Shut up. God, yeah, of course he stole the show. And I get it, and I'm sure there are a lot of players out there that as much as they love Tiger, and they would never say it publicly, but it's like, damn, like, is anybody else playing this week? No, nobody. And the guy who might not even play. I thought it was very interesting watching America's Caddy this morning on Get Up, talking about the weather. And I think this is why it is a game time decision. He made this point really well. The weather coming in tomorrow night, or even I think it might even be tonight, may dump as much as 2 inches of rain on Augusta. Obviously, it can handle it. It drains really well, but it does make it softer and harder to walk. And the temperatures are going to go down significantly. I haven't seen the exact forecast, but I think it's going to be in the upper 50, I believe, if you want to check that, Nick. So for him to walk the course and now have it be cold, which is very bad for his five surgeries he's had on his back. None of this is good news, and Tiger may have to be smart and not play.
Yeah, we got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In the mornings, it's all in the 40s. And even Sunday, the lowest is 40 on the dot.
That's not good. That's not good. I mean, and if he makes the weekend, obviously he'll be playing in the afternoon where temperatures are in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Low 60s,
but
high 60s.
He's going to have to play a morning round on Thursday or Friday, and it's just not going to be good for his back. It's no bueno. Now, it's not as early maybe as some others. They can certainly do him some favors, and I'm sure they would with tee times, but I think it's a game time decision. Tiger's going to have to weigh a lot of things here. I mean, his comeback already is just miraculous. It's miraculous where he's at this point. And it's interesting to watch him swing on the first tee. Saw some of the video, and he's swinging so much easier, but his swing speed hasn't gone down significantly. He's still 6 to 7 miles per hour above tour average at 44, 45 years old. So, but it looks like he's swinging easier, which will obviously make it easier for him to have a little bit more longevity. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what he decides. Given his history, I think he's a very intentional man. He doesn't do anything on a whim. But man, the opportunity to play the Masters, and he's playing well. I mean, the word couples used who played with him yesterday was phenomenal. Phenomenal. He's playing phenomenally well. He's got to know that his opportunities to play Augusta are limited, and if he can go, I think he's probably going to try to go.
The crowd being there yesterday, I think there's no way he took a look at that and said, "Man, I can't just now go home." I think he's already. I know he said decision, and he's going to speak at 11 o'clock, and I'm sure we'll have some of that audio in the second hour.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll make an announcement. Maybe he literally takes it up to tomorrow, or even before he has to tee off on Thursday. I don't know when he has to make the announcement by specifically.
Well, the good thing about this invitational is he's not taking a spot away from anybody.
No.
So he will. It's not like if he decides at the last minute not to play, he's affecting anybody else. So that's what I think he has to do. He's got to go warm up on Thursday morning and say, it's too cold. That's not good enough. I'm not going to do it. I think he's going to have to wait till that moment to see how he feels. And I think that would be prudent for him to do so.
Yeah.
So we shall see, and hopefully we'll get a little, we'll get some sound early on, and we'll pass it on to you. All right, there's so much to get to, but we decided to just start with the Rays today because, and we'll get to all the Lightning stuff. We got. By the way, Scott Reynolds is going to join us at 10:30 and celebrate the big Kansas win last night. No, he won't. Big Kansas State guy, but he has promised me a rant, a pointed rant, and asked me if we're allowed to cuss on my show. I said, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can drop the
up SR today.
Yeah, an SR Fab expletive 5, if you will. Could be fun. Could be fun. But what is the feel? Well, I know the feeling watching your rival win a national championship has got to suck ass. That's just got to suck. Because like when the Gators were winning national titles in basketball and football, it was a little different for me because I was covering the teams at News Channel 8, and as much as I joke around about the Gators, I really respect their athletic program. I really respect what they've done, and those particular teams, Billy Donovan's teams, man, I loved covering those teams. Joakim Noah, those guys were great. They were fun. They were glib. They were great basketball players. Donovan is a great quote, a fun guy. So it wasn't hard for me to like them, but I think when Florida won their first national title, albeit against, FSU, that sucked. That was like the worst. I was like losing a family member. It's awful.
Losing a family member.
It was awful. Oh my God. Yes. But anyway, it's gotta be tough. I'm trying. Your rivals have never won anything because your rival's USF, right? As a UCF guy.
I don't even look at USF like a big rival. Like I don't. Like UCF.
Does UCF do they have a rival?
Well, they think USF is like this. Like do you think of that rivalry as a big rivalry? Yes or no?
No, not in the grand scheme of sports. No, not at all. But within those two worlds, it's the
UCF
rivalry.
Fans will tell you this is like a heated rivalry, and I don't think USF takes it as serious as UCF does.
Oh, I think they do. I
really don't.
But they're getting bitch slapped.
They're getting bitch slapped like crazy. I guess that's a rival, but it don't matter to me.
But anyway, we'll talk with Scott Reynolds. But we're gonna start with the Rays and the trade of Austin Meadows yesterday for Isaac Paredes from the Tigers and a compensatory B pick, which I've been, JP, you need to do your research on that draft pick. It also gives us money for the international draft pool. Blah 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 blah. It's a second round pick. It's number 70. The chances of that guy hitting 30 bombs and 100 home runs are 0.02. That's what it is. It's a second round draft pick. It's not that important. It might turn into something. You can go cherry pick a bunch of guys that were played there, but the vast majority of people are picked in that area of never even see the major leagues. So stop with the effing how important the draft pick is. And this goes to the brainwashing of a lot of the Rays faithful. When they do trades like this, you get his advanced metrics and blah, 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 blah. The dude has had a couple of stints in the major leagues and hit 215 with a little bit of pop. His minor league numbers show a little bit of promise, but the chances of that guy ever being a 30 home run, 100 RBI guy are literally nil. He's not, and we are flooded with middle infielders. Yes, we could possibly flip him for an asset. The point here is not that they traded at Austin Meadows for some slapdick prospect, as Blake Snell would say. The point is, for me, the bigger picture is, if Eric Neander did not have handcuffs on and was not allowed to add significant payroll, the pool for players we could have traded Austin Meadows for would be probably 200-300 players more if we were allowed to add significant salary. But we're not. And I'm tired of people saying, oh, this is not about the money. Bullshit. When's the last time the Rays had an $85 million payroll? Never. When's the last time they ever had a $90 million payroll? Never. When's the last, you know what the league average is? It's $135 million. We're at half that every single year. And we're going to spend a little bit more. We'll borrow from other seasons. He's got $500 million sitting in a new bank account that he moved to another a company under his own direction. Stu Sternberg. He's got money. So stop that bullshit. Neander is handcuffed, and as long as he's handcuffed, he's not going to have a pool of players to really choose from. So he's got to go find some prospects that might be able to fit into, so we can so we can bring them up later on and still have a low payroll. That's why they love prospects, not because it's going to get them to someplace great one day, because guess what? They never get there. They've gotten to the World Series a couple times. I get it, but you're not going to win if you continue to act like this. When you give away bona fide major league players, all-stars, for guys that have a very little shot of being a significant player in this league. You can't tell me with the universal DH that there were no National League teams that could have given you something better that would have fit in your bullpen, maybe a closer, Craig Kimbrell. And I know Kimbrell looked bad at the end of last season, but at the first half of the season, he was lights out. And he's 33 years old. Who knows? Is it a risk? Of course, every trade is a risk. But he could possibly give you something very important early in the season, and that's winning games that you should win. And they didn't do it because why? Because he had a $16 million payroll salary. That's why they didn't trade for Kimbrell. Simple as that. Yeah, I get it. Overvalued, blah, 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 blah. You're not even going to be, and after they trade Kiermaier, which is coming, they're not going to be even touching $80 million in payroll. I haven't looked at the latest on-field payroll, but I think the last time I looked at was like 65, 70. All right, that's my rant. You go ahead. I know you got something cooking.
My problem here is, are teams that are trying to win a World Series, is this a move they make?
Hell effing no.
Is this a move they make? I don't think so.
No.
At least I've never seen one.
No.
And that's my problem here. Every Rays fan has been conditioned to expect these trades.
Exactly.
I was not shocked to see this trade. I did say yesterday I wasn't expecting something 4 days before opening day. That shocked me a little bit. But trading Austin Meadows, listen, I was one of the first people who said, yeah, if you get the right value,
exactly,
you make that trade, because even though he is an all-star caliber player, the guy is a liability half the season because he just cannot hit lefties. And I'm about maximizing my roster to win a World Series. That's what I'm about. Craig Kimbrell, in my opinion, is a fair trade because at least you're getting a proven major leaguer who's been there, done that, has been in World Series games, has been in every big game you can imagine. You get him in the back end of your bullpen, which right now the Rays have uncertainty there. Yes, I know Andrew Kittredge was an all-star last year, but I think you'd want to have more arms in there. It's Craig freaking Kimbrell for crying out loud.
Yeah, like everybody goes, well, we'll find a closer. Really? Will we? Is it going to work every single year? Maybe not. Maybe not, but it's good to have depth and it's good to have options.
Yes, and immediately everybody pivots to this. Oh, well, we have room for Josh Lowe. Listen, I have a lot of high hopes for Josh Lowe. I do. I saw what he did last year. He's a former first-round pick of this organization. He's 23 years old. Clearly, he's ready to be up in the big leagues. I understand that. But for all of you to act like he is going to walk right in and be Mr. 30-100 and steal 30 bags and not have any, thrown out like he did last year in AAA and be as good as Austin Meadows, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. He may one day be better than Austin Meadows. It might be next year. It might be the year after. But are we trying to win a World Series or not? That is my problem.
No, we're not.
These moves get you no clearer. And I'm sorry, a middle infield prospect. Do the Rays not have a shitload of those already? And I understand you can never have too many shortstops. They're valuable trade chips. But again, are we winning a World Series with this move?
No.
It got me no closer. It got you no closer, and now you're stuck trying to replace 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. And yes, I sound like I'm the old boomer in the boardroom of Moneyball. I get it, and I can already see Eric Neander or whoever's in there telling me that we're going to bring in 3 guys with an on-base to 3. I get it. But did the A's ever win a World Series doing it that way? No. And you know what their payroll is as of today? $33 million. So how you doing? So this move
We're going to make a lot of money this year, though.
Yeah, it's a great move.
We're going to put it back into the team.
Yeah.
We never take anything out. We always put it back in. I bet those people that are lauding this trade probably believe that too. We don't have any money. The dude just put $500 million into another bank account. $500 million. I said $500 million, allegedly, according to the lawsuit.
I'll sit back and watch what the Rays do because they're always playing chess, right? They're not playing checkers. They're playing chess.
Yeah.
Maybe there's another move coming. The Rays have built up enough trust that I should trust them, but it's okay to get mad, I think, about the return.
Yeah.
It's a meh return. It's a guy who's had 52 games in the big leagues with the Tigers. He couldn't make the Tigers.
Right. He's blocked.
We're going to unlock something. I'm sorry. I'm tired of taking everybody's reclamation projects like some badge of honor. Do you want a World Series trophy because you fixed Yandy Diaz? So that's what I heard yesterday. Well, we fixed Yandy Diaz. We're going to fix all these guys. Yandy Diaz is a 262 hitter, maybe 15 bombs and like 50 RBIs a year. I'm sorry. He's an average big leaguer.
Yeah, but his contact rate and the velocity off his bat is so good, man.
I don't care. I really don't care. I just want to win a World Series, and I hope everybody can understand that.
How many times have you won a World Series with exit velocity?
Yeah, I don't think that's part of the criteria.
It's like we've become. I hate to say this because people get mad. All Rays fans have just become analytics nerds.
All right, JP, you haven't done your research on the compensation pick.
Shut up! The dude hit 30 bombs and 100 RBIs. I don't give a shit about the comp. And look. People act like Austin Meadows is a finished product. And you yourself are like, you can't hit left-handed pitching. What do you hit, 198 against left-handed? You get 106 RBIs, you can hit. I don't care what you pile up 106 RBIs, 33 bombs a few years ago, the All-Star year, 27 bombs last year. The guy can freaking rake. No, I understand he's not the best outfielder in the world. I get it. That's why you have KK to cover up for him. That's why but he is a valuable piece, way more valuable than some slapdick prospect. Oh, but did you see his WAR?
I had people yesterday that were saying he had better numbers than Meadows in AAA.
In AAA,
I don't care.
He hasn't proven shit at the major league level.
I don't care. I'm not interested in taking on. Again, I don't know if I'm being disrespectful or not. Failed prospects to this point. I'm not interested in that. I'm not. What's your goal? What is your goal? I want to know the goal.
Well, you can't tell me that this team is better today with having a utility infielder with some good-looking metrics than having an all-star outfielder who collects 106 RBIs in a season. You can't. How do you? I mean, RBIs are a very important statistic, way more than exit velocity. I got news for you. That's what we call run production. And I'm okay. Josh Lowe can come up and replace some of that. I get it. I'm fine with all that. But why not make your team better at the major league level? Okay, now if they go and flip this guy and bring in somebody that's going to help us at the major league level, I stand corrected. But I'm just going to sit here and say right now, Eric Neander, I know he's lauded and we won 100 games last year. I get it. How many playoff series did we win last year? None. Because we had a bunch of rookies starting in our starting rotations. Whose fault was that? Eric Neander. Eric, is it about winning 100 games or is it about winning in the postseason? It's about winning in the postseason. You got to win a World Series, not meaningful games in September. That doesn't work for me.
Yeah. And listen, I banged the drum last year. I've been banging the drum all this time. I've enjoyed the way the Rays have been able to stay in the hunt and win games. And I like to sell myself and think that somehow they would win a World Series this way, maybe because of the 2020 year they got there, right? But that team had Charlie Morton. Yeah. That team had Blake Snell. There were some proven major leaguers on that team that knew how to win games.
That's right.
And they came very, very close to pulling it off.
And you didn't have to dismantle that team.
And that's
you
my
didn't
problem.
have to.
That's my problem. It's the further dismantling of a team that was in the World Series that's bothering me. And I'm looking at what's coming in. And I understand there's a young group of crop, but just to act like everybody that's a prospect is going to come up right away and light the world on fire and help you win a World Series, that's
because they had
thinking.
great AAA numbers.
That's awful thinking. That doesn't happen. We had John Smoltz on this program a day after the Rays got eliminated from this past playoffs.
Right.
And I remember everything John Smoltz said, and I take his word, not some analytic geek on Twitter. Okay.
And what did he say?
He said these young guys are not going to win games in the playoffs. It is a whole different animal. Shane McClanahan was put in a bad spot against Boston to come in. He clearly was rattled. Shane Baz did not have a good outing. Drew Rasmussen did not have a good outing. None of them had a good outing outside of McClanahan in game 1 because they're too young. And I'm looking at the Rays right now, and I said yesterday they will probably win 90 to 100 games again. They might win the division again. But if you think this team's winning a World Series, and I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong.
No.
I will eat lots of crow 7 months from now.
Oh, they just named the rotation. Who's in the rotation?
Clanahan, Rasmussen, Kluber, Patino, and Yarbrough.
I mean, those kids are going to be really, really good. And maybe it'll be this year. But if you go into a World Series with those guys, you're going to get exactly, or the playoffs with those guys, you're going to get exactly what you got last year. Bounced. And I don't know. Hopefully they'll be better. Hopefully they'll, and their experience will get them better. But when you look at what you're going to be up against, it's usually going to be inferior, like it was last year.
What did Toronto do? Look around you. What did Toronto do?
Loaded up. Starting pitching. Really, I mean, their lineup, top to bottom, is the best in baseball. They got it all. And what it's the other thing I remember Smoltz saying is it's great to be able to get to that point of the World Series with a low payroll. That's great. But you know what it's great for? To add on. That's when you add on. That's when you pick up Morton's option. That's when you keep Snell for another year. That's when you add on these young pitchers who become depth guys instead of guys that you're relying on in the 1, 2, and 3 spots in your first series. I mean, this is not rocket science. And the only reason they didn't do it is because of money. Scratch, baby. And this dude is flush with $500 million cash in the bank that he made off of your baseball team. That ain't his money. That's your money, your baseball team. And we can't add a reliever with the $16 million price tag for 1 year.
Apparently not.
And
if you're going to turn down that offer, by the way, okay, turn down the offer. But tell me there wasn't a better return out there than Isaac Paredes. Tell me there was not a better return.
As Joe F says here, what the hell are they going to flip this guy for? It wasn't like people were knocking down the Tigers' door to get him.
No.
This
is a guy the Rays think they can fix.
Yeah.
And they could squeeze the potential out of. Bottom line.
But you give up.
But I'm sorry.
And
you
again,
can look towards the future all you want, but mindful that you have a team that I think if you just added a few pieces around it, veteran pieces, built to win pieces, could actually win something.
Yeah, exactly. And again, people say, "Well, this is a good trade." Get the compensatory pick. I'm telling you,
I don't care.
I'm telling you, with the new universal DH, you can't tell me that there weren't better options of bona fide major leaguers you could have brought in here to help this team this year. And they said, well, Eric Neander would have done it. Yeah, if he wasn't handcuffed to say you can't add salary or you can only add X amount of salary. He's got a budget. It's a strict budget, and he can't go over it. And this is what you get. So it sucks. What were I didn't find his quotes today. Did Neander's quotes on this? Did you find them?
He made sure to let everybody know that it was not about money.
Of course, it's never about money.
Nothing to do money.
If it's not about money, take the payroll to 110 million. If it's not, just I don't give a crap what you say anymore. Do it. If it's not about money, then do it. Go to the league average. Why not? Why doesn't somebody ask that question, by the way, instead of where you go to get your seafood? Let me go on a rant on that.
I mean, I will say about the money, though. Like, Austin Meadows is $4 million. He was going to make $4 million this year against the Rays payroll. I mean, I know the Rays are notorious for saving every dime, but $4 million?
It's nothing.
$4 million?
For an all-star? Are you kidding?
To me, it just, I guess the way I looked at it, it felt like they just traded Meadows for the sake of trading it. They're like, They counted how many outfielders they had, and they said, all right, one's got to go. I think if it was about money, if it was 100% about money, I would, and this is where I'll disagree with you a little bit. If it was 100% about money, they would have traded Kevin Kiermaier because he's making $12 million.
What
it was 100% about money.
But this is what I'm saying about the money. It's not even about the $4 million. Okay, what I'm saying is the reason they didn't trade for a major leaguer was because of money. Are you following this?
Yeah.
That it's not Meadows' salary that matters to me. It's the salary of the guy that they would have brought in. In the pool of players you could have traded for would be so much bigger if you were allowed to do that. And here's the other part of the money part. The reason they don't trade for major leaguers is because they need young prospects to flip or to come up and play for cheap. So you can keep putting 60, 70, 80, $100 million profit into your pocket every year, which is what Sternberg's been doing. That's why we don't get to the next level, because when we get those guys to that level and they say the stupid narrative, well, we can't spend any more money because nobody comes to the ballpark and we don't have any. Oh, well, that's a complete lie. We can tell that now, and that we've been telling you that for quite some time. That's the money part.
And the flip side to this, like I said, what's next for the Rays? Because we all feel like something else is coming. I saw Neil Solon said, everybody chill the F out. This is setting up something else. I hope that he did not mean that meant Josh Lowe, because I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a letdown for me. It needs to be something else.
We all know
in.
he's coming up.
We all know he was coming up.
It's coming up.
It needs to be something from the outside. There is a lot of Jose Ramirez rumors out there.
Let's go.
I mean, Cleveland loves their prospects like the Rays. They run it very similar to the Rays. We have tons of prospects they would want.
Yeah.
If tomorrow comes or Thursday, even later today comes, and you acquired Jose Ramirez, I will take everything back for the most part.
Well, okay? and of course, this is all predicated on what we see now.
Yes.
So listen, prove me wrong.
Right now,
prove me wrong.
Right now, though, I'm not encouraged. I'm not encouraged.
We have to comment today on what's going on today.
Exactly.
All right. So if they go out and make a move like that, then I'll say, and it's a bona fide major leaguer and they're adding salary and all that stuff. Fine. I'll take it all back and prove me wrong. But until then, I don't give a crap what you say. I look at what you do. Freddie Freeman. It was bullshit. It was bullshit. They were never even going after Freddie Freeman. I'm sure Sternberg, with a wink and eye, said, hey, Andrew, you're going to outbid us, right? And he said, of course we are. By the way, he didn't want to come play for you anyway. But we'll put it out there for you. Whatever you like, we'll put it out there for you. We're never going to get Freddie Freeman. Come on. But, they do that stuff to keep you guys, interested, make you think they're really going to spend money. Ooh, look what they did with Wander Franco, $187 million. Yeah, okay. Let's see how much of the Rays pay of that. Okay, we'll see. We get a new owner, maybe.
I take it.
But no.
I take it if there's not another move coming, you're 100% not going to opening day.
Hell no.
I take
I've already scheduled a golf lesson.
Oh, my golf lesson.
So there. Yeah, I just can't. I can't do it. I'm just so sick of Sternberg. It's ridiculous. And which brings me to this. Look, I'm all for let's have some fun. Let's talk to people and talk about their outside interests and blah, 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 blah. And every year, Mark Topkin does this little sit down and Q&A with Stu Sternberg and asks him about, what he's doing in his personal life. What did you kill time with during the lockout? Much of which you spent at your St. Petersburg home. Okay. And read any good books, any new hobbies or things you started doing? He treats this guy, Mark Topkin does, like he's some type of Jeff Vinnick. Like he's some type of beloved owner that we want to find out. Oh, he's one of us. Like this, is this a PR? Did his PR company do this for him? Because I'm sorry. When you try to abandon your market and put a sign up in the playoffs about Montreal, you don't get this treatment. I'm sorry, you don't. You don't get the warm fuzzy treatment when you've tried to sell out your home, your local market that has made you a billionaire. Sorry, you don't get that treatment. But no, this is their job is to make him look good and make him look human, even while he's putting up his middle finger at everybody here locally. And a guy, and I'm trying to stay away from. Why don't you ask him about why he's holding up the development on the Tropicana? Why don't you ask poignant questions about the stadium? Why he won't pay half the price for the stadium and didn't that in 2018? Lied to me when I asked him on the press conference about being all in. Why don't you ask him these important questions? And I know this is something different, but then when you get to the real question and answer, why don't you ask him that stuff and hold his feet to the fire? What's your sub order? I don't give a shit what his sub order is. And this is the most offensive part of it all, this article or this question. Your song for last year, your Bruce Springsteen song, Glory Days. Great. Okay, that's great. But for this year, hit quote, I think it's For You, which is one of my favorite Springsteen songs, by the way. Look, we've tried some things and people weren't so pleased. That's how he says it. But we do this for everybody. And we're going to play a season for you. I think that we're going to do our best to make it fun and exciting. And we obviously are putting a great product out there. Oh my God. Full on vomit. This is what he means that if you're watching at home, folks, this is what he means by for you. That's for you, Rays fans. For you. For you. There goes Austin Meadows for a prospect. For you. How about those great ticket promotions? For you. How about those reduced concessions? For you. How about paying half for the new ballpark? For you. That's for you. And you print that shit? Oh my God. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? For you? What has he done for the fans this year? You were looking up the new ticket specials, the great things we're going to do on Friday nights and Tuesday nights, and the $10 ticket. What the half season plans or the one price for the month? Go as many times as you like. Are they still there? No,
Not that I saw.
Not that you saw. Okay, reduced price concessions. No, so paying for the new ballpark. No, none of it. None of it. For you. You got the balls to say that? Really? All right. We'll take a break. When we come back, Scott Reynolds is going to join us. We're going to talk some Buccaneer football. Is Gronk coming back? We'll hear the latest from Gronk, and we'll talk to Scott Reynolds, and he'll tell us how much he loves Kansas basketball. Stay with us. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 2% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month, and the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Juliet collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% Mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. You can reach him at palermopa.com if you have any issues with construction defect. It's one of his specialties, especially those stucco issues that are so prevalent all around Florida. So if you have cracks in your stucco, there could be some water damage there that you can't even see, but it's there, and it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So, and your builder will probably say, "Oh, sorry, no warranty." You can definitely get some compensation. So go to palermopa.com, give them a call, see if you have a case. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay, JP. How are you?
Just okay, huh? I mean, as a Kansas State guy,
I'm just okay.
It's got to be, hearing Rock, Chalk, Jayhawk, just watching them come back like that and celebrate.
You son of a bitch. You had to go there, didn't you? Yeah. Look, I want you to understand something real quick, okay? I'm not taking anything away from the fictional bird's victory, but their mascot is a stupid fictional bird, okay? It's not even real. It's like the bastard son of Toucan Sam, okay? Like, KU can't even get it's such a shit school. They can't even get their own mascot to be a real mascot, right? Like a wildcat, a bulldog, even a friggin' gator. I'm just saying, it's like, there's bulls, there's knights. Like, they've got to come up with some crappy, like, Toucan Sam knockoff as their mascot. It's just stupid.
Oh, did you say Toucan Sam? What? Bastard? Is that what you said?
It's like the bastard son of Toucan Sam,
Nick is tweeting that out as we speak right now.
It's like Toucan Sam and Cuckoo the Cocoa Puffs bird had like an illegitimate child, and it became a Jayhawk. I mean, that's just.
Oh my God, that was a good one. That was a good one. I knew I'd trigger you into something fabulous. That's exactly what happened. Hey,
I will say this. Listen. I will say this. Kansas State did lose twice in conference play to the national champion, so we have nothing to hang our heads about. Okay, so we do have that. But listen, KU. If I want to give them some props, I will say they play great team basketball. Right?
They did.
To me, what you saw last night. And I've seen this from KU. They did this to Kansas State. I was absolutely triggered, JP, because K-State had a 15-point lead against KU at halftime this year in Manhattan, and we saw Jayhawks come back to win by 3 the last minute of the game. So I've seen this act before, and so I wasn't that surprised. But KU plays a very good brand of team basketball. They have role players that know their roles. They execute those roles tremendously. I think one of the things that they do so well, it's almost like a lost art in basketball, is they have their center box out and create a lane on the baseline.
Imagine that.
Right? So if you're a wing guy, you're at the 3-point line, you simply do a head fake, get your guy up in the air, and you have a clean layup because their fundamentals are so good. So it just reminds me of like old school Bobby Knight basketball, just really precision-based basketball. It's a thing of beauty outside of the fact that Lawrence, Kansas is just a crappy place to live and go to school, and you're playing for a school that has a fictional bird as a mascot.
But Manhattan is so much better.
Oh, it is. It's the little apple, JP. I mean, it's
little
happiness.
I love it. All right, let's talk. Let's talk some Buccaneers. Did you see the Gronkowski video? I guess he did an interview with some other station. What is your, you see him out there and about. My sense is this guy wants no part of OTAs whatsoever, wants to live his life.
Exactly what it is.
And he was, he's like, hey, listen, I'll be back late July, just save a spot for me. But until then, just leave me the F alone. I'm going to go have some fun.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's listen, I'm healthy. I'm not rehabbing anything. I'm partying my ass off. I want to have a good time. I know the offense, been in it for 2 years. I know Tom. That's really all it is.
This just in.
It's Gronk being Gronk, and he'll be there by training camp. That's all you got to worry about.
All right, and we expect Sue in soon. I mean, that tweet he put out basically says he wants to play, and obviously I think the Bucs want him. I don't think there's any question about that, right? Yeah,
exactly. And the thing is those signings probably might even happen after the draft, and that doesn't really matter because even if the Buccaneers drafted, say, UConn's Travis Jones in the first round, right, or if they drafted Trey McBride, the top tight end in the second round, it's not like they're not going to re-sign Gronk or not going to re-sign Sue. The Bucs are better with those players there, and then who better to have as a mentor for a tight end like McBride than Gronk, or a defensive tackle like Jones than Sue, right? So I don't think that the Bucs draft plans are going to be altered by either one of those guys returning late after the draft. I just think that it's a situation where Sue and Gronk are professionals. They know how to take care of their bodies. They'll be fine, even if they miss OTAs and sign a little bit later. So I don't think it affects much at all. I think the Bucs are better with both of those players, and I think that they both want to come back, and I think that'll happen eventually.
Scott Reynolds joining us here. A very historic day at One Buck Place the other day. We both were there. I learned a hell of a lot that day from a lot of different people, just getting to talk one-on-one, like as human beings. Oh my God. With Joel Glazer and Jason Light and Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles, all the principals. It's great to look them in the eye, look at their nonverbal communication, ask questions, get responses. So I'm wondering, what did you learn from all of that? So many things to talk about, but what did you learn? What were your takeaways?
Well, Todd Bowles, he's a funny guy, and he's very personable. The crazy thing, JP, is remember, Bruce Arians came in 2019. That was the last year of open locker room before the COVID lockdowns have kept us out of the locker room the past 2 seasons. So I just remember in 2019 talking to defensive players like Will Golston and Shaq Barrett about Todd Bowles. At the time, and even the last 2 years, we've only gotten Todd Bowles for about 8 minutes a week in a weekly press briefing as the defensive coordinator. He's been kind of dry, kind of bland, kind of vanilla with his answers. And I would talk to these players in the locker room about Bowles. They're like, "Oh my God, I love this guy. He is cracking us up in meetings, and man, he's just, he's got this dry sarcasm and this humor." And it's just, you didn't see that at all.
Who are you talking
in
about?
The public face. Right. But to a man, they loved him. They would run through a wall from him. You've seen the efforts and the production that the defense has had since he's been here. And then now that he's head coach and he has more than 8 minutes to talk, you kind of see that personality come out. And I just think, gosh, what a great situation for Todd Bowles to have the experience of what worked and what didn't work in New York, coupled with the fact that he is a quote-unquote new head coach hire, but he's already had his players and his system implemented for 3 years with the coaching staff that he knows and trusts, that he's worked with for at least 3 years, if not longer. I can't imagine a better situation for success than to have a guy with a 3-year head start on his head coaching job, and that's what's happened here in Tampa. Oh, and by the way, another year of Tom Brady doesn't hurt either.
No. And to me, it solidified the whole narrative that, and this is how I see it, and this is my final answer on this. This whole evolution, and that's what I called it. This was an evolution for Bruce Arians to move upstairs. I mean, I even tweeted it out like a month and a half ago. I wouldn't be surprised, and we talked about on this show that if Bruce was would move upstairs and let Bowles or Leftwich take over, and they move on. We talked about that. So it wasn't a shock to me. But the whole idea of him being pushed out, no. But what I look at is I think everybody looked at it and said, look, this is Brady's offense now. And he and Leftwich are kind of running that. Bowles is running the defense. Bruce is just kind of, he's put all of this together, and he deserves tremendous credit for all of it. But it's maybe it's time. And then I think Arians looked at the situation and said, you know what? I'm holding these guys back. This is their time. Todd's 58. I don't want to hand him the keys to a Pinto with Brady not here and everybody else leaves. I'm going to give him the Ferrari right now. That's what my legacy has been about. This is my decision, and this is what I want to do. And I think it's one of the most magnanimous decisions I've ever seen in sports, to be honest with you. And when he said, I don't give a shit about the Hall of Fame, that meant something to me. I was like, exactly. He doesn't. This means much more. So did Brady want some restructuring? Was he upset about that? Maybe. Who cares? But this is what, to me, this was a natural evolution, and everybody wins. Everybody wins. Your thoughts?
Yeah. You're exactly right. No matter what road you took, whether it was conspiracy theory or if you believed every single word Bruce Arians said, right? Both of those roads converge into the present day, which is what we saw on Thursday. Everybody's happy.
Yep.
Everybody. From Bruce Arians to Todd Bowles to Joel Glazier to Tom Brady, Jay Site, everybody is happy and at peace with the decision, and I think that's the most important thing is the fact that the Buccaneers are in a very good place right now, and I've known all along it would have been Todd Bowles. Like I found out a couple of years ago. I just asked the question, hey, and this is in 2019. Hey, if something happens to Bruce, or he has. Because that was his first year back from retirement, right? And the health concerns in Arizona. I knew back then Todd Bowles was going to be the head coach. I've even kind of written and hinted at pewterreport.com throughout the year. So this is no surprise to me. Mm-hmm. But I think there's an added layer of strategery here from Bruce Arians in the fact that he knows that, as you mentioned, Todd Bowles, you usually don't get second chances to be head coaches in this league. And certainly that's not the case for minorities. It's happened a couple of times, right? Tony Dungy, Lovie Smith. Those are a couple names that come to mind, but it's harder for minorities to get that second shot. You have to be a really good coach. Those, I don't know about Lovie, but Tony certainly is the case, and same with Ron Rivera. But I think for Bowles, he went through 4 different interviews. He's not the most charismatic guy unless you know him. So I can see him not winning the interview in some of those situations. And there's such a trend. Saw at the NFL owners meeting just all of these young, hotshot, offensive-minded head coaches, right? The Bengals guy, the Packers guy, the Rams guy, the Cardinals guy. They're all kind of the same guy, and they're all white, they're all young, they're all offensive-minded.
Yep.
And I think everybody knew that Byron Leftwich is probably going to get a job because, although he's not white, he is very good at what he does. He's offensive-minded and he's young. He checks a lot of the boxes. And now that there's such an emphasis on the minority hires, he's going to get a job, and well-deserved, probably after another year with Brady. So I think Arians knew that. So why not give Bowles this job where he's perfectly suited for, knowing that Byron Leftwich is probably going to get the next job. And then now he has 2 proteges out there as head coaches in the league. The one thing that I'm about is for a league that screams and cries so much about needing diversity, yet doesn't do a lot about it.
Yeah.
They finally come up with this reward system, which I'm kind of have mixed feelings on.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're going to reward franchises for promoting coaches and general manager candidates, which I'm in favor of that. There's the noble notion of trying to do something to create more diversity. I'm all about that. But if you're going to go and put a reward system in place, I mean, reward the Buccaneers. The fact that they're not getting a compensatory draft pick for promoting Todd Bowles when that's the stated desired outcome is asinine to me. Oh, well, it doesn't count because it's a promotion.
Yeah.
Well, do you want more African American and minority head coaches in the league NFL, or do you not? Right?
Exactly.
I just don't understand that. Oh, and by the way, it's not like the Buccaneers just did this with Todd Bowles. Every coordinator on their staff is African American.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not going to reward the most trailblazing franchise
Exactly.
in the league with the compensatory pick?
Yeah.
Come on. That's a joke.
Do you think if Roger Goodell, if they were to go back and say, we're changing that rule and we're going to grandfather in, or ex post facto or whatever you want to call it, we're going to go back and award the Bucs a pick for that. Do you think anybody in the NFL would get pissed off at that?
No, absolutely not. No.
Do you think it would make the NFL look better? Yes, it would.
Yes.
There's a creative thing to do, Roger Goodell.
Here's the thing. It's like, there's a little bit of consternation about, the Buccaneers, they found the loophole for the Rooney Rule. Okay, but they still hired
exactly.
a black head coach.
Shut up.
So it doesn't matter, right? But now if you want to close the loophole because it's after March 1st, well, if you're going to retroactively do something, then go ahead and retroactively give the Buccaneers a third-round compensatory draft.
Exactly. By the way, I can fix this problem overnight. And I'm good at doing this, but nobody ever listens to me, Scott.
Firing Roger Goodell?
No,
I agree.
This is how you do it. And I'm being serious right now. The problem with minority hiring in the NFL is these old ass rich white guys don't like hiring guys that don't look like them or they don't hang out with. And if you allowed the general managers of the team to make these decisions and kept the owners out of it, just keep the owners are not allowed to be part of the selection process whatsoever.
Right.
You hire a general manager, let him do his fucking job, and you stay the hell out of it. I guarantee you, within 5 years, we'll have a representative amount of African-American head coaches and general managers in this league.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I think that if the league is getting something right, I think that they realize that the trend is the young hotshot offensive coordinators, and there does need to be more people of color in those roles. And listen, just because you are a black offensive coordinator, I mean, listen, I don't know what the situation is, but Eric Bieniemy's name has been just bandied about by the media for years now. He has not gotten a job. Maybe he's not a good candidate, right? Just
I don't think he is.
He's a black play caller.
Right.
I don't think he is either. But I'm just saying, just because he's a black play caller, and the media has been crying about him, doesn't mean that maybe he deserves the opportunity. But it shouldn't preclude other ones as well. I mean, if I had the choice between Eric Bieniemy with his success with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, I'm picking Byron Leftwich every day of the week to be a head coach. Right? I just think that I think he deserves the shot. There's got to be something about Bieniemy at this point in time to where he doesn't interview well. He's not a good candidate. I just don't know, because there is kind of a cry in the league for that. Mm-hmm. And you would think he'd be the logical candidate, but it hasn't happened yet. And I'm beginning to think it hasn't happened for a reason. Yeah. Sometimes
he's got some
JP,
baggage.
This is kind of a weird notion, but sometimes when you hire people based on race or based on rather than looking at qualifications, whether it's white, black, or whatever.
Exactly.
That's the best play all the time.
And I'll give you an exhibit A. Urban Meyer. They hired Urban Meyer because he's an older white guy, established in circles, connected, had success in college.
Awful hire.
Safe, maybe quote safe hire because he's had success. Awful hire. Dude is a psychopath, and so many people knew it. But he got the gig because of those things I said. At least I think he did, because he certainly had no NFL resume to speak of whatsoever. Ridiculous.
Exactly.
And
I love the hire of Todd Bowles. I love it. I love the hire of Tony Dungy. I thought that the hire of Raheem Morris was interesting. I supported the notion at the time. I think if Raheem Morris had taken over the head coach of the Buccaneers at like 40 rather than 30, I think he would have had a better chance.
Oh, yeah, and then had a payroll higher than 65-70 million, which is about half of what everybody else was working with.
Agreed.
Let's not forget that. That was during the Man United transition when the Bucs weren't going to spend any money. So don't forget about that.
The deck was stacked against Raheem. I think Raheem's going to make a fantastic head coach with his experience now from Tampa Bay to Atlanta to Washington, and now, of course, out in LA. I think he's going to be the next great defensive-minded head coach to get hired next year, and he's going to deserve it. But I didn't think Lovie Smith was a good hire at all. And I think that showed. So, I mean, I can sit there and evaluate head coaches not based on race, but if you're looking at the black head coaches, the ones have been here in Tampa, I mean, I think that again, I'm judging Raheem not based upon his record here in Tampa because the deck was stacked against him, but I think he's going to be another good head coach.
I do
don't
too.
feel that way about Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
But the Glazers have been so forward thinking and being colorblind in this approach of just trying to hire good coaches, and they should be applauded for that and rewarded. And I'm just proud that Todd Bowles is the next one here in Tampa. I think he's going to be a hell of a find.
Hey, last thing, and I think this kind of went under the radar. The fact that the Glazers immediately are putting Bruce Arians into the Ring of Honor, I think is further proof that they went to him and basically said, maybe a restructuring is in order here. Are you on board with this? And Arians looked around and said, it's just every head coach that has built something like this wants to stay on. And you got Tom Brady coming back. Of course he wanted. I don't say he wanted to, but I think he just looked and it did a very, very selfless act. And I think the Glazers respected that and rewarded him and just that is so perfectly done. And I can't wait for the day they do it and he gets his richly deserved plaudits. What do you think?
Yeah, and it's funny because he said he doesn't give a shit about the Hall of Fame, and that's true. I think he does give a shit about the Ring of Honor.
I think he does too.
That means a lot to him.
Yeah.
When the press conference was over, we had the little media scrum up on the stage. I was the first one to ask him about that, and he kind of teared up a little bit again. He's like, "Wow, that one got me. I didn't think that was coming. That was emotional for me. That does mean a lot." And we look at his legacy, right? I mean, Tony Dungy got the ball rolling in Tampa. He turned the franchise around. John Gruden, most wins in franchise history, first Super Bowl, won 3 division titles in 7 years. That's almost a division title every other year. Both of those guys are tremendous coaches in Bucs history. It's been half of their tenure, right? Dungy was here 6 years, Gruden's here 7, Arians only 3. But I mean, you're talking about 2 of the best years in Bucs history, 11-5 in a Super Bowl, and then 13-4 and going deep into the playoffs, winning the division. That's a hell of a record. He finishes the best winning percentage and clearly the best postseason record in any Bucs head coach's resume. So if you were to tell me Bruce Arians is the best head coach in Buccaneers history, I can't make an argument against that.
No,
JP.
You can't. Not based on the numbers and the tenure. 100%. And it's not over because even though he's not the head coach, he deserves a huge part of it's almost Dungy, Gruden-esque, very different players here, but Arians has prepared this team. And this is not a hostile takeover as maybe it was before. Right. This is a handoff and a very magnanimous one. And so Bruce is a big part of this as well. And he'll deserve credit for everything that happens next year. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a legacy type thing that with Bruce Arians. It's the coaching record's going to stop after the 2021 season, but then listen, the wins and losses that Todd Bowles will be on Todd Bowles, but there is some legacy there with Bowles, and I think he's going to have some success, not just with another year with Brady, but I think that he and Jason Light have got this plan in place. They've got a Buccaneer way of doing things. They have an offensive and defensive system in place, and you have that type of continuity. It makes it so much easier to draft and acquire players because that's a Buccaneer receiver, JP, and that's a Buccaneer offensive lineman, and that's a Buccaneer edge rusher, and that's a Buccaneer cornerback, right? And when you get to identify those types of things, look at Baltimore with Harbaugh and his offensive defensive systems. The Ravens always have good drafts because those Raven players in college just stand out like sore thumbs when it comes to the draft, and that's how Jason Light and Todd Bowles are going to carry on is they're going to draft Buccaneer players on offense and defense and keep this train rolling.
It's great stuff. Always love our conversations, Scotty, and especially the reference to Toucan Sam. That was a classic. Tell everybody how they can get the great Pewter Report content and what's coming up this week.
Well, John Ledyard has his new first-round mock draft out.
I saw that.
So make sure you go to pewterreport.com to check that out. I'm going to have a new Bucs 7-round mock draft coming out on Thursday on pewterreport.com, plus my SR Stat 5 column on Friday. So make sure you check out all of the draft-related content on pewterreport.com. Visit us on social media and follow us at Pewter Report on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. That's at Pewter Report. And we've got our YouTube channel rocking and rolling. We're up to 8,000 subscribers now.
Nice.
Just did that yesterday. We do podcasts on Pewter Report TV. That's our YouTube channel. So please subscribe to that, Pewter Report TV. Our podcasts are Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays during the off season at 4 o'clock live on our YouTube channel, or you can always catch the podcast version of it later at your viewing leisure.
Great stuff, Scotty Reynolds. I was going to say Rock Hawk, but I won't. I won't do it. Go, Kansas State. Have a great one, my friend.
Listen, hey, technically, JP, we're on the college football season.
That's right.
So college basketball season's over.
And you own their
time
ass.
for K-State's domination over KU to continue. 14 years in a row. Let's make it happen.
I love it. All right. Thanks, buddy. The great Scott Reynolds right there. All right. We got a huge 11 o'clock hour coming up. We're going to talk a lot of Lightning here. We're going to hear from Patty Maroon, some great stuff from him. John Cooper, last night's debacle. Austin Matthews with a hat trick. People throwing hats on our ice. I have a narrative about their slump that you probably have not heard. So we're going to do that, and some line changes at practice this morning that are somewhat shocking, to be quite honest. Plus, we got one of my friends who was at Augusta yesterday watching Tiger up close. We're going to hear from him as well. Big 11 o'clock hour coming up. Stay with us. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Marine is the birthstone of the month, and the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Juliet collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade at any time and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him AP said you could call 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to our second hour of the JP Peterson Show. We thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to download our app, FanStream Sports, all one word. And you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple and Spotify. Also, subscribe to our YouTube. I want to get 8,000 like Pewter because we're doing 2 hours each and every day, all hyper local. So check it out. You can watch us. We can because we actually do. You need to visualize, especially today's show. We'll go back and listen to our rant on the radio. Visualization was very helpful in that. So watch our YouTube. You can watch us on Twitter. You can also watch us on Facebook at JP Peterson. So we love you guys coming in. And we want to thank our sponsors. Bay Area Modern Medical Center sponsors our second hour, and they are fantastic folks over there. Dr. Christopher Lugo. Please go reach out to him at BAMMC.com and their medical team. If you're looking for a new doctor, primary care physician, that's where you need to go. They're doing great things over there, and they do it modern style, not the old way where they just write you a script, talk to you for about 5 minutes, and then get you out the door. No, they'll spend 45 minutes to an hour on your first appointment to find out where you are, get all your vitals, get your blood work done, figure out a great diet plan for you, exercise plan. Everything is done individually. Christopher Luger works with a lot of military people, high-level military people, and keeping those folks in shape is not easy, and keeping them in optimal condition. So he'll do the same for you. That's BAMMC.com. All right, want to get into the Lightning last night, a 6-2 loss to Toronto. And, the score was bad enough, but the way they went about their business last night was not okay. They were lethargic. Austin Matthews, the leading scorer in the league, left alone in front of net, probably not going to work out, left alone in the slot, going to beat you. It was just poor defensive coverage. We've seen it a lot lately. Some of the numbers are startling. Since March 9th, this team is, let me get this right, 6-7-1 overall. They are 7-10-3 against the other 7 playoff teams in the East. That's not good. They got the Caps on Wednesday on the road. Then the Bruins come here on Friday. I said it yesterday on the show. If the Lightning show the defensive effort they showed in the second 2 periods against Montreal, they're going to get embarrassed by Toronto. And that's exactly what happened last night. They were embarrassed by Toronto. I mean, when the other fans are throwing their hats on your ice, that's uncalled for, number one. And that pissed me off. And I hope it pissed off a lot of the Lightning players too.
At this point, I don't know what pisses off the Lightning players. I don't. I really don't. I mean, it's been a month now of this, and
good point.
Been a month now, and we said if you don't want to get up to play Montreal on a Saturday night, okay, whatever. Okay. You got Toronto coming in. It's a big week. You got Washington. You got Boston.
And you're tied in the standings with
Those
Toronto.
are the 3 teams. That 4 group right there is the only playoff spots that are going to really interchange seeding wise. So this is a really big week, and you come out with a 6-2 loss on your home ice. And frankly, it could have been 10-2. It really could have. Yeah,
it was ugly. And turnovers. They had 10 giveaways in the first 2 periods. Constant giveaways. And I heard this from a team source last night. I don't want to say who. It's just a very sensitive subject. But and if you look at the way Kucherov and Vasilevsky and Sergachev have been playing lately, especially Kucherov and Vasilevsky, I know Kuch is putting up some points and whatnot. I saw some points last night where he was just gliding around there on the ice. I mean, he wasn't doing anything, just sitting out, not guarding anybody. And the narrative is this. What's going on in Russia right now is not good. A lot of these players send money home to their families in Russia, and I'm told that they're having a lot of difficulty doing that right now. There was a lot of there's been stories out there that Putin gives a lot of these big time hockey players black cards. I don't know if that's true. And right now they're having a lot of a lot of issues contacting their family back home. Russia, is in turmoil right now. Not only is Ukraine in turmoil, but the country of Russia is as well, especially when it comes to their economy and their finances. And I think a lot of these guys are distracted and worried about what's going on over there. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them one bit. And I think we have to be cognizant of that. There's this, we think these football players, hockey players, these professional athletes can just separate everything out and just put everything in boxes and then go play when they're called on to go play. It's not that easy. You can compartmentalize a lot of different things, but when you can't speak to your family and they're in trouble and there's issues with getting the money and food and whatnot, of course you're going to be distracted, horribly distracted. So, I'm not saying that's the whole reason for this slide that the Bolts have been on, but I think it's a contributing factor. And I think you're seeing it from a lot of Russian players all over the league. So let's keep that in mind. And just, you want to listen, I think there's a vast majority of Russians that are very much against this war. A vast majority of them. And I think it's unfair to bring these players even into the conversation, to be quite honest. This is politics way above their head. And, whether they support Putin or not, they still have families there. In peacetime, it's okay. But when shit like this goes down, it's not okay to support Putin, obviously. So I just think there's compassion that needs to be put out there and understand what's happening here. Now, that being said, as far as the other players go, no excuses. Let's hear from Cooper last night talking about the effort and the reasons that he saw for such a poor result last night. 6-2 loss, Austin Matthews with the hat trick.
Parts of that first period, it seemed like. Second period on is where do you see kind of the turn for you guys as far as the turnovers or just what?
Well, you're asking the question. You saw it. We didn't manage our game. We were way, way too easy to play against tonight. It was like a light practice for them. It's too bad because you want to see where you're at. I thought we, kind of turned a corner a bit, but clearly we haven't.
Talked this morning about how dangerous Matthews is, and just how did you get so open on some of those? Just more so you mentioned easy to play against, or just like?
Well, you can't give a guy like him time and space the way we did. We were, like I said, we were just way too easy to play against. When you're leaving a 50-plus goal scorer all alone at the net, and he's walking right down Broadway, nobody's even touching him. So it's, I don't know, that's on us.
Salty Cooper.
I mean, it takes somebody to finish. Like, he's a world-class finisher, but at least make him have to work for it.
Talk about importance of building your game towards the playoffs, or making sure that's the most important thing, regardless of.
Hey, we got to make the playoffs first. That's first and foremost.
They're going to make the playoffs.
Coach, what's the most important thing? 2 games in a row, you've given up 6 and 5 goals. That's usually not the Lightning way. What needs to happen?
Well, it was 6 and 4. But we got to probably stop worrying about what we're doing on their side of the red line and start worrying what we're doing on our side of the red line in. That's where it all starts. And when you take care of your end, usually the other stuff takes care of itself. But you're going to give up 6 and 4 a night. Your chances of winning are slim.
How close are you guys getting to the game you want to be playing for if you make the playoffs?
Well, if you're using tonight as a gauge, we're miles apart, miles away from that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty direct right there. That's pretty direct. I mean, you saw it. It's just like he says, you saw it, and that's where the Lightning are at right now. And I don't know. You can talk about bringing new guys and have you, but
we've tried to say here that we're not concerned, right? We've tried to say, they'll snap out of it eventually, but
I'm a little concerned.
It just, how many times can they play these teams? You put that number out there against the fellow playoff teams. It's not like they're just losing to these playoff teams.
Mm-mm.
They're getting absolutely just boat raced right now on the ice by everybody.
Yep. Not pretty. And by the way, let's play Maroon first. This is Maroon on his 10-minute misconduct last night, which was absolutely ridiculous.
This game's going the wrong way. I don't know. I guess you can't chirp each other on the bench now. I guess that's illegal. I guess it's better to watch 1980s hockey when guys are chirping each other, but I don't know why they did that, but the game's going the opposite way, I guess. They don't want to see that anymore. I guess he said it's bad for the TV, which is really shocking to me.
What? Bad for the TV?
Bad for the TV.
Well, Engblom stands right in the middle between the benches, and his mic is open, I guess, most of the time. I would think. Well, probably not most of the time, but when he wants to speak, he'll put the mic on. So I guess they were going back and forth, and they think Maroon was talking a little bit about to who was it? You're going to be out of the league next year. Blah 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 blah. Just chirping, and the ref said stop it. L'Equier, I guess is the name. The ref, and then he warned him, and then they put him in the box. But come on. That's just good-natured chirping and going at each other. What the hell's wrong with that?
I mean, who was he chirping? Wayne Simmons?
Yeah.
I mean,
Engblom said on the broadcast, it's kind of too bad in a way because this is what the flavor is all about. Everybody's kind of leering at each other. I heard Maroon say to Simmons, hey, you're going to be out of the league next year anyway. The other comment from Simmons, I can't really repeat. You're getting under somebody's skin. That's part of the game,
guys,
bro.
Let's not turn the NHL into the NBA, okay? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Okay?
What are we going to have, like Twitter monitors between the benches saying what's free speech and what's not?
Here's what I want to know.
By the way, go Elon.
Did that comment make it over the airwaves yesterday? I don't recall.
I don't think it did.
I don't recall. So
and if
bad
it did,
for the TV.
So
I'll listen to that. A comment that I didn't hear is bad for the TV. Let me get that straight. But when two guys are throwing fisticuffs at each other for about a minute before the ref steps in, that's not good for. I'm just saying, which optics are we going here? So fighting's fine.
Right.
Fighting's fine. And I'm not trying to say abolish fighting. I love it. I'm just calling out the hypocrisy of this ref.
Right. Exactly.
Fighting's okay. But if you have a conversation on the ice that nobody can hear on TV, bad for TV, 10-minute misconduct. I've never heard of that. For chirping?
It's ridiculous.
Maybe if you say that to the ref, like
ridiculous.
If you say it to the ref, maybe we can get there. But for other players, no. And there's been way worse than that said.
Yeah, it's just utterly ridiculous. By the way, Joe Smith reporting the lines this morning in the morning skate. Palat, Point, Kucherov. Interesting. Kaloran, Sorelli, Paul. Interesting. Holton, Stamkos, Hagel. Your third line center is not that matters, but I guess it kind of does. Holton and Hagel and Stamkos. That's an interesting combination. This is a message from the coach. It's like, all right, wake the F up. Let's go.
I get it, but I felt like the Colton, Paul, and Hagel line has been great. One of the better lines they've had going, really. And I'd like to see that one get continuity going.
Maybe he's trying to spread out their energy and get the other lines going.
Maybe.
Interesting.
Stamkos dropping down with Hagel, maybe to get Hagel more involved offensively. He's been slower offensively, I'd argue, than Nick Paul has to the party. The Point, Palat, Kucherov, we've seen that mixture a million of times.
Love that. Maybe that's to get Palat going.
Yeah, because how many games are we going? 22, 23?
Long time. Obviously, don't forget Ryan McDonough did skate yesterday,
yes.
And I'm sure skated today, but he's missed. Ain't no doubt about that. He is missed. I think a lot of this, these odd man rushes, we could probably attribute to some of that as well. But it's got to stop. Here's Maroon. We got another little soundbite here from Maroon, just talking about these guys just aren't having fun right now.
I just think we're trying to make the extra play. We're overthinking it. Maybe guys haven't got a point or scored in a while, or just gripping the stick and, making the extra play. And instead of just keeping it simple right now. I know it's boring hockey. I know some players don't want to play like that. But at the end of the day, you have to just do it until you work yourself out of this. And obviously we did a win streak there, but that win streak didn't feel like a win streak. And it just feels like it's been like a losing streak. And it's been weird. It shouldn't feel like that. So it's on the players right now to get a handle of it. They can give us all the systems they want. They can, give us all the information we need. It just comes down to just work ethic and going out there and just competing hard and enjoying the game again. It seems like it's it's been a long stretch here. You know, I'm not going to put excuses in there. It's been a long stretch. The schedule's been tough, but just got to find a way to get out of this, because this is a fun time. This is the most fun time of the year right now, is, you know, down the stretch here and, you know, gearing up for playoffs. Sun's going to come up tomorrow. Just got to find a way to get out of this funk that we're in, I guess, and, you know, come to work and prepare ourselves for the next 13 games here, because it's like a dress rehearsal for the playoffs here. We got to find a way here.
That doesn't sound very promising. Here's the bottom line, folks. You win 2 cups in a row. You play all these games. You've been through all the COVID bullshit. It's tough. It's tough to match the energy of these other teams to win a Stanley Cup. It's just, it's damn near impossible. You cannot manufacture that kind of hunger. Just can't. It's human nature. And, you know, maybe they may be a year removed from it, but I think their chances of repeating are slim.
And that's
extremely
why
slim.
If they face a team like Toronto, that's had a lot of one and dones, in a lot of ways similar to the Lightning, I think they're kind of waiting for their time, and they feel like this year is their best shot of any, the way they're playing. That's a team I don't know if you want to see in the first round. And that's why everybody keeps saying, I don't care about who we play. I do care about who we play, because I
want to see Florida.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see any
Carolina?
of those 2 teams. I don't.
You want to see Pittsburgh?
No. I think if your best bet right now is you want to see Boston, a team like that.
You want to see Montreal?
God,
no such luck, and they
no
beat our
such
ass.
luck. No.
Look, they're not having fun. They're, you know, they're a step behind. Their defensive coverage is awful. It's not good right now, and I don't know what's going to turn it around. You still have the best core of players in the league, I think, at every level, but they're just not in there. I think that's why Cooper's mixing up the lines. He's just trying to find something new, something to spark them, something different, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be really, really hard with the teams around them loading up, and as good as they are, and as on equal footing, the chances of this team repeating are really, really slim. Not saying they can't do it. I just think that a lot of times in the Stanley Cup playoffs, it comes down to who wants it more. You can be good, but it's such a game of effort and focus, and, you know, pick yourself up after a tough loss and get back out there 2 nights later, and you're battling your mind, your body, everything. It just takes it's why it's the hardest trophy to win. And to have to manufacture that type of hunger that you've never wanted before, or it's been a long, long time, is hard. That's why back-to-back is so damn hard. And they did it. Back-to-back in a salary cap era? No. No. It's really, really hard. I mean, I don't mean to bust the bubble of Lightning fans, and I'm not saying they can't do it or won't do it. I'm just saying if they do it, holy hell, what an accomplishment that's going to be.
If they do it, I'm not betting on 4.
No way. No. The whole damn team will retire.
Yeah.
This will be done. But, I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now that are not in their favor. And I hate to say this, and I hate this cop out of a expression. It is what it is. It's, you know, this is not the team they had last year. It's not the same situations. You know, it's going to take a hell of a lot of leadership to pull out of this. And we'll see. We'll see. It's a tough ask. It's a really, really tough ask. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to chat with a friend of mine who I work with at the Lightning, who I refer to as Chris the bartender. He was at Augusta yesterday for those massive crowds. I want to hear somebody tell stories about what that was like yesterday. Beautiful weather day, his first time to the Masters. This will be fun. We'll talk to a devoted fan of golf and Tiger when we come back. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month, and the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Juliev collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade at any time and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP said. $56.36. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
I was just listening to Tiger Woods doing his press conference right now at Augusta, and he has just said that he feels like he can play and he feels like he can win. Come on, man. Really? Love it. Just absolutely love it. Why has this got me? I mean, there are stories in sports that just, hit you a different way, and this is definitely one of them. All right. As promised, my buddy Chris Stansberry, who I work with at the Chase Club and for the Lightning, the best bartender in the world and one hell of a sports fan, got to go up to Augusta his first time ever, and he joins us now. Well, partner, I would have to say that's pretty good timing. That's the greatest Monday in Masters history, and that's when you got your tickets. How are you, and what the hell was that like?
Oh, man, it was fantastic. I am doing well. A little bit tired. It's a long day and a lot of moving around and stuff. But, man, it was just – the atmosphere was insane. It was crazy. I can't even put words to it. Just for my first time walking in, you are in awe of the entire facility, just the people running to get their spots at 16 and, and certain things just to watch. I mean, I couldn't put words to it. It doesn't do it justice.
Well, you're going to have to, because we got 10 minutes here. So start working on it. So first of all, just tell me what was your whole strategy as far as getting close to Tiger? Like, what was the buzz on the grounds? Like, when's he going to get there? Because I think he played afternoon, right? So what was that? Take me through the whole thing. Take me through the whole thing.
So we came in, we got in there early. We did the whole Masters experience that everyone had talked about. You go in, you got to, you got to find your spot, or hit the pro shop first, get all your stuff.
Yes.
You got to get all the swag when you're there. And so we came in and we started at 16, And, there was really no one on the course. I don't think anyone got out until, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. And there wasn't a lot of buzz about Tiger. It was just, we've heard he's here. He's probably going to play today. But, there was no anything that, people were like, oh, my gosh, Tiger's coming out at noon. And, you just watch the board. So, every couple of holes there's a board, which just tells you who's on the range, who's on the course. And so in the morning, you have a lot of the amateurs that were out. You had, there was a few big names. Rory went out during the day. Kevin Na, players like that, you can see them and you got to follow them around. So, basically in the morning, we just walked the course and we got to see, we took every hole in and, our plan was we started at the south gate we came in. So we started at 15 and we wanted to do a little bit of 15, 16, 17, 18, and then loop around the clubhouse and then come back, from the front nine and finish at Amen Corner.
Right.
Was kind of our plan for the day. And so we were out doing our thing and, all of a sudden, we just kept checking the score. And then all of a sudden, sometime a little bit after lunch, Tiger's on the range and they put up woods and then it just starts buzzing. And then you could start to see other holes, just the people just leaving and then going away. So we decided that we were going to go straight to 4. And so we made our way around to hole number 4, got on the green at 4. And we were just, if someone goes long on 4, the ball was going to hit us. I mean, we were a pretty good spot. And, you're just standing there and then, Spieth and Berger were in front of him and they came up. So you got to see them and that was great. It's funny. You see so many Masters champions playing and no one gives a crap. Everyone's just like, where's Tiger? Where's Tiger? Where's Tiger?
Right.
So it was really neat. You got to, just the buzz of he's out here. And then, of course, everyone else had the same opinion as we did and the same thought. So they came running for it. So it was a really cool spot. So we parked up on 4 and we got to see him, hit a shot and come up and do some stuff in front of us. It was really neat.
That is, and crowds that were out there, bro. I mean, I saw the pictures. Holy crap. How'd you even get close to him? How close did you get?
So we were probably too deep behind the rope. We didn't get into the grandstand at 4. So I bet we were probably 2 or 3 people in front of us. So by the time he hit his approach shot on 4, he was a little off and he was going to have a chip up at whatever practice pin they had going that day. So we were probably, I would say 25 feet from him. And I mean, and he was playing with the crazy thing that we talked about, my buddies and I were chatting yesterday. He played with Freddie Couples and he played with Justin Thomas. And I have never seen, and Justin Thomas is probably the favorite to win this tournament.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone just not give a crap about a player. Like the guy going into the Masters and he could have done whatever he wanted and no one was paying attention because it was Freddie, yelling at Freddie Couples or yelling at Tiger. And, Tiger looked loose. I mean, I got to watch him walk all the way from the tee box up. There was no noticeable limp. I mean, we were shocked. I assume because the one thing they don't tell you about Augusta, man, that place is hilly.
Yeah.
It's like walking up and down stairs the entire time. I mean, it takes a toll on you. And I can imagine that, his game isn't going to be what keeps him away. It's going to be if his leg holds up. And he looked strong. He looked like he'd been sitting around lifting some weights the whole time. I mean, he looked jacked. And, he got up and he got some chips in and he was doing some putts and yelling. And then the best part of the day was, I guess Freddie saw something in the swing and he came up to him and he's like, "Hey kid." And of course the gallery loses it because, Freddie Couples is calling a 46, 47-year-old Tiger a kid. And he's like, "Hey kid, come over here." And so 10, 15 feet in front of me, they're going over the swing, talking about something about maybe his left hip was digging in or something like that. And they were going over it and Tiger was just loose and laughing and, really engaging with Couples. And, it was just, the crowd was just in awe because, not only did you get to see Tiger, you got to see Freddie Couples give him a little bit of a golf lesson. So that was pretty neat.
Wow. Good stuff. Hey, Chris Stansberry joining me here was won the lottery, got practice round tickets yesterday, and Tiger was there in a historic day. He's probably going to play. But the other part of the experience, walking around the grounds, just any other stories or tidbits that really got you. Today, they still have the same prices from 2003, $1.50 pimento cheese sandwich. I hope you got one. $1.50 egg salad sandwich, $5 beer. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It is. And, you just walk in these things and they should run every event, whoever puts on the Masters, because we waited in line one time for 10 minutes for anything. everything else is just, even the bathrooms, there could be 500 people waiting to go to the bathroom, and the way they cycle you through, they get it. But yeah, the pimento cheese, I had one. It's okay. I mean, it is what it is. To quote what you said earlier about the Lightning, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It was a decent sandwich, but you have to have one.
For $1.50, it tastes really good though.
For $1.50, yeah, for $1.50, hell yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, all of my friends just did at the end of the day that he's going to go 3 of them, and that was halfway through the second, you could tell he knew he made a mistake, but that's what happened. But so it's so cheap that you feel like you can just get a little bit of everything, take a couple bites and try it. That all the things were good. The egg salad, I didn't do the egg salad. I'm not a big fan. My friend that went said he said it ranks dead last on the power rankings for the master sandwiches. But the beers are great. I mean, they have a wheat beer, like a Stella-ish kind of beer, and then they do like a domestic light beer, all $5.
Yeah, it's crazy, crazy stuff.
You can't beat it, man.
What'd you get me from the pro shop? That's the only real question I have tonight.
Whatever you want, man. I got a 3X pullover if you feel like you want to swim in a dress or something. So.
Oh, beautiful for me and my girlfriend. Be perfect.
Exactly.
Who else did you see? Anybody else that was kind of fun, or what was your big takeaway as far as the like number 9 or the downhill at number 15? Short 13 is always something interesting. The green at 16. What type of design feature really struck you the most?
A lot of the downhill stuff, because I felt like maybe it was the route that we took. It was like, I feel like we're ever walking downhill. Yeah. We felt like we were walking uphill the entire day.
Yeah.
But just seeing some of these holes, and you see them on TV, and you can't get the grasp of how not flat it is. There's nothing that's flat.
Yeah.
Even walking, you're just walking anywhere. One leg is probably 6 inches higher than the other as you're tilted, and you're just trying not to fall. And then you're walking through the, with the pine straw and stuff, and you're trying not to step on the tree roots because the pine straw hides everything. Any imperfection on the course, because there's nothing. I mean, it is. Perfect. When they say that it's pristine, it looks like a guy comes out with a pair of scissors and trims the one little piece of blade of grass. Yeah. So, that was the course maintenance and was what struck me the most. And then getting to see like some of the old champions, like Larry Mize was out.
Yeah. I caddied for him once.
We didn't get to see Sandy Lyle, but we saw Mike Weir was out. Pretty much Vijay Singh, that guy's got limp, man. His hips killing him, I think. He looked like he was struggling just getting up and down. But, we saw a bunch of the champions. We saw a lot of the players played yesterday, the top players in the world we got to see. It was like being at a real tournament, and it was a practice day. So I can't imagine what it's like what it'd be going to be like on Thursday.
It's incredible. I've been lucky enough to go many times as a member of the press back in the early 90s when we could walk in the ropes with the players. I could go anywhere I wanted to except the Champions Clubhouse. Been up in club into the locker rooms. It's just been it was so amazing to get that kind of access back in the day. And I'm going as a fan too. It's the most special place on earth for me. And I'm glad you finally got a chance to get up there and now you're even bigger fan, right?
Oh gosh. I'm already ready to register for the lottery again, or, it's worth it. I'm just go to the Masters website, register for the lottery. I think it comes out sometime in April or May, and and you'll find out in June or July. And if you get the chance, do it. If you're on the fence about it, do it.
How much were your tickets?
It's a once in a lifetime experience.
How much were your tickets?
How much were the tickets you said?
Yeah.
$75.
How about that?
If you buy them through the thing.
It probably pays
StubHub on the morning.
$750 or whatever.
$1,000, I think, was the cheapest I saw.
Yeah.
Was the cheapest I saw just because of Tiger, I'm sure.
Yeah. Great stuff, my friend. Appreciate your perspective on that. And you're also quite a gambler. So who you got? You're going to put some money on Tiger just to do it, right?
You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get a little bit of a longer line on it. You have to put some money on Tiger, but
I think he's 50 to 1.
Thomas is, yeah. You got to put some pizza money on that. That's definitely worth it, I would say. So.
Yeah, I got Brooks Koepka. That's my pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to see him too. He was playing with the freshman from UNLV, which I'm sure Brooksy didn't probably give him 10 words and won the whole day. I mean, I don't think the kid was just kind of walking behind him.
I said this.
Didn't think that there was much interaction going on.
I said this yesterday. Had a chance to talk to Brooks when he was here for the Valspar, and Bob Harrigan and I were kind of talking to him about the Masters. And there's look in his eye like he's ready. He's happy. He's healthy again for the first time. He's feeling good. He knows the course. He feels like he's ready to win again. And his level of determination in his eyes, you could tell that he is ready to freaking go. It may be too much. Like he may be too pumped up for this, but I would expect to see him very much in contention this week. So we shall see. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, he always plays so well there. Yeah, he plays so well there.
All right, brother. Great stuff. I will see you, I guess, Friday night. And hopefully the Lightning can get their shit together.
I was going to say, it sounds like I missed a hell of a game last night.
Yeah, it was brutal. Absolutely brutal. All right, partner. We'll talk to you on Friday. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, TJ Rives is going to join us. He got off the plane a little early, or maybe a little late, or whatever. We got him anyway. He was at the Final Four last night. We're going to talk some basketball with the Bucs sideline guy. Stay with us. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month? And the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Juliet collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade at any time and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance, so do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call.
FanStream Sports.
Wow, that was a rookie broadcast mistake right there. Grabbing a handful of peanuts before you pop right back on. I thought I had another 30 seconds. That's all right. I got TJ Rives, who was at the Final Four. All I have to do is say go, and I can take a 10-minute break because this dude can talk about basketball. He can talk about anything and be compelling. What's up, my friend? How are you?
I don't know about that. I don't know how coherent I am either. We have a live update on Tuesday that I have just arrived from New Orleans. My father has been the airport taxi here for the last few minutes, getting us to and from. I think I have gotten about 2 hours and 7 minutes of sleep, so I make no promises on how coherent all of this will be. But it's good to be back with you, my friend. And what a ball game with Kansas beating North Carolina.
That was incredible last night. Those are some great games between the UNC Duke game and that championship game when, such a roller coaster of emotions for both teams last night. I mean, down 16 points for Kansas to come back And for North Carolina to be down early, I mean, it was incredible. And Hubert Davis going bananas on the sideline. It just had so much drama last night. What was the atmosphere like in the Little Caesars Pizza Dome?
Yeah, the only thing I can tell you is that I don't know how well it conveyed on TV, but it was electric from beginning to end this entire weekend, including, I mean, obviously that Duke North Carolina game, the hatred of that Coach K potential last game, and it was his last game Saturday, and you knew at the maximum you were only going to get one more on Monday night. So again, last night though, I mean, everybody standing, roaring, crazy finish, big time plays being made in the final 2 minutes. And that was the greatest halftime comeback in the history of an NCAA tournament championship game. They were down by 15 points. We're all talking in the media room about North Carolina this, North Carolina that. And I was one of the ones that spoke up and said, hey, wait a minute. These are the same guys. It was Miami Hurricane. The same guys that came right out of the locker room and blitzed Miami. They are not done with 20 minutes to go. Now, if we come out in the first few minutes of the second half and they haven't cut into the lead and North Carolina's still up by 10, et cetera, it's big trouble. But, man, right away, Kansas taking the ball to them. And we were in the end zone, JP, TV left. So the media end zones are behind where those students were, the Kansas and the North Carolina students on each end. We were TV left behind the Kansas students, and that's where most of their fans were. So when they started making plays coming at us, I mean, it was like the Buccaneers scoring a touchdown at Raymond James Stadium over and over again because they scored 11 out of 13 out of the locker room, like an 11-2 run. It was just electric.
Yeah.
It was tremendous to be in there. They got back in the game, and they obviously made more plays in North Carolina to win the game. Now, one of the things we've been talking about on my stuff I did on TuneIn for the Final Four coverage is on the final play with 4 seconds left, where North Carolina has a chance to tie with a 3. Where do you come down on strategy? Do you grab the shooter before you let him attempt to tie the national title game? What say you?
Yes, absolutely you do. 100% you do. I guess, if I'm a coach and you've coached this before, you also have to say to yourself, if he's in good position to shoot, take him down. If he's falling backwards, like I think it was Love that took the shot. If he's falling backwards and your hand's in his face, don't hit him. Let that shot go. You got to have some talent there and make a judgment call. But if he comes off a screen and you can get to him and he's set and he's in good position, you take him out. I mean, I don't mean it in a bad way.
Not injure him.
No, not injure him, but you take him out.
Their best shooter, and he has been a 3-point assassin at the end of this tournament. And my thing was coming out of that review, which seemed like it took a month to figure out, is the Kansas guy out of bounds?
How the hell do you step out of bounds?
And so then I kept saying, if the ball is in Caleb Love's hands, if that's who gets it, you have to grab him around the arms and around the waist and foul him before he is the one to tie this game. And they didn't do it. It did work out. He did not get a good look. So I understand those that make the argument that, hey, I want to go ahead and defend and let him try to take a 30-foot shot. And if he does, we'll just play in overtime. I'm big on this. And again, the way Kansas won their previous national title against my Memphis Tigers, JP Peterson, was the exact same thing, where Mario Chalmers was the player for Kansas, came across midcourt with 4 seconds left. They had a chance to grab him. They didn't grab him. They let him get the shot off, and they lost the game in overtime. So history repeated a little bit there. Electric last night. Kansas gets the win. There were a lot of inebriated people, as you can imagine, in and around the Superdome late night last night. Got in, got my stuff done, got a couple hours sleep, was up about 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. Tampa time at the airport, flown in. Here we are on the JP Show and ready to rock and roll after the college basketball season ends.
By the way, let me be clear, not foul him, while he's shooting a three-pointer. I'm talking about before he gets to his spot.
Correct.
You can
and
tell.
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
grab him as soon as he has the ball, grab him before he has a chance to shoot. Correct. Yes.
So listen, the whole before we go back to Krzyzewski, I want to get your take on that whole game as well. But the whole Bill Self, this Kansas program, and this guy gets completely, I think, he's not even mentioned as I think a lot of times as one of the greatest coaches in the game, and he's been doing it for so long, and they're always good. And I love the way that they fundamentally took it to North Carolina. 28 of their 36 points in the second half were in the paint, and then when they needed a bucket, they went to David McCormick down low. He had 15 and 10, and a guy that just has that jump hook. He said they're going to match up against Manic, who can't stop that play. It was good fundamental execution basketball. It wasn't let's just start bombing threes and it's a 3-point shooting contest. They defend, they set picks. They're just really great fundamentally. Your thoughts on Kansas.
To your point, they're very well coached. He makes adjustments. He's as good as anybody at making adjustments, especially at the half. Almost like Belichick always seems to come out of the locker room and have something. Or we can say the same thing here about Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich. I mean, we've gotten used to that for the last 3 years. Come out of the locker room on the opening drive, and you've made adjustments. And one of the things, to bring it back to basketball, is they had that kid, Christian Braun, who's a Kansas kid. Boy, you talk about living out the Hollywood dream. He's winning a national title as a Kansas native, as a Kansas high school star, and now playing for the Jayhawks. They obviously realized at halftime he's big, he's quick. Let him take the smaller Carolina guards to the basket early in this second half and see if he can get some easy hoops. And he did that like 3 times, JP. Yeah. That's your point. That's coaching. Yep. That's a coaching their way on comeback.
That's fun to watch when teams can do that and coaches can do that, and they did a hell of a job. And by the way, hats off to Hubert Davis and that win over Krzyzewski the other night.
Amazing.
And this way, this team, North Carolina team, was bad midseason, and he's put it all together in his first year. I love the way this guy coaches. I love his enthusiasm. It's something we haven't really, seen in North Carolina, emotion, enthusiasm, the old Dean Smith stoicism, Roy Williams stoicism. And Roy could get a little excited. I get it, but not like we saw from Hubert Davis. I kind of like it. Refreshing.
Yes, and he did a tremendous job getting his players in position to win, adjustments, all those things you want to say. I mean, good Lord, they beat Baylor. They almost collapsed. They had a 25-point lead and almost collapsed and lost, and none of this would have ever happened. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, though. They won the game. They then beat UCLA. Hello. They then beat, you're talking about for all time that in that rivalry, he's the coach of the North Carolina team that beats Coach K in his final game. Not Dean Smith, not Roy Williams. He's the coach. And in his final game at Cameron, ever. And now you go into the NCAA tournament, and they've never played in the NCAA tournament, and they play in a Final Four, and Hubert Davis leads as the coach. His players play. Manic hit shots. Obviously, Caleb Love hit shots. The players play. Davis. But they knock Coach K out and end his career? Are you kidding me? That is an all-timer. They have the T-shirts already printed up. We retired Coach K with the date 4-2-22. I saw the shirts in the French Quarter. They were ready. It was incredible. It's incredible to watch that performance and talk about somebody whose stock went way up in the span of about 3 weeks. Yeah. After that Duke win, Hubert Davis's stock way up as a coach.
Yeah, there were people talking midseason like, "Oh, what we've done? This is a mistake." No.
And maybe he's going to be fired after the first year, and they're going to have somebody else. And lo and behold, they let it play out, and look what happened. It just shows you. Teams get better in March. Teams come together in March. And you saw that North Carolina team get better and better. And I agree with the analysis of some of my colleagues, a couple of the analysts that we had on our show last night, that, hey, don't blame North Carolina for choking this. Yeah. Credit Kansas more from taking it from them. And North Carolina even hit a couple of big shots late in the game that could have won the game for them. And Kansas took it from them.
Yeah, and that three-pointer that Davis hit against go down in history, certainly in Carolina history, even though they didn't win a national championship and they've won plenty. I think that shot may be one of the biggest shots ever remembered in North Carolina. Would you agree?
Well, yeah, it's to beat Duke in a Final Four game. Never happened in the NCAA tournament, and it's in Coach K's career. We cannot overstate, folks. This is like whoever beats Bill Belichick in his final game with the Patriots, especially if it were to be a playoff game like the AFC Championship game, or if it were to be the Super Bowl and you beat him in his final game, if that's the case, and that doesn't even do it justice.
No, because you don't have the rivalry aspect.
It is such a you lived in and worked in North Carolina for a while.
Yes.
That rivalry is all they talk about in that state. That North Carolina Duke basketball rivalry. You know that.
It's everything. It's everything, and and that's why there's some people thinking, but I think Coach K comes back. I don't his age and whatnot.
I can tell you with a couple of sources that I have that are around him that are close to him, he is done.
Okay.
He has wanted to be done for a couple of years.
Yeah.
At 77 years of age, not at 67, much less 57.
Yeah.
This is something that's been a long time thought out. He probably, because of COVID-19, he probably would have done this last year. Somebody told me that, but because of the craziness of the end of the COVID-19, he had a really good team and could have maybe done something at the end of that year. He was still toiling with, do I hang it up last year, 21? Do I hang it up now? And he goes out as the all-time winningest coach, 5 national titles, 3 gold medals, by the way, as the coach of the USA Olympic basketball team. He wants to enjoy his grandkids and wants to enjoy some other things here in the later years of his life besides the grind of college basketball. So there you go.
Yeah, and this feeling will go away soon. People will remember the 5 national titles and everything else, but before they remember this. Well, not in Carolina, not in Chapel Hill, but everywhere else. Hey, any thoughts on this Austin Meadows trade? TJ Rives we're speaking to here for as Blake Snell would say, a slapdick prospect.
All I know is I'm minding my business last night in the Caesars Superdome, like you said. I'm engrossed in the championship game. And at halftime of the game, I'm on social media like everybody else because we got a 20-minute halftime. And Austin Meadows is traded for who, for what? And I'm still asking that this morning. I am in the dark. Please educate me, you and Nick.
Listen,
what is this infielder and what is this with Josh Lowe, Nate Lowe's brother, that precipitated this? And why did they not get more for Austin Meadows? That's, I think, what a lot of people are wondering.
Well, first of all, for the pro reason for the trade, go visit Analytic Ray's Nerd on my timeline that tells me how stupid I am and I don't know how important a compensatory B pick is. The problem is, listen, the reason that that's the best it could get when your owner says you can't add significant salary. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. This is not about Meadows. It's not even about Josh Lowe.
I saw tweets. Were you tweeting about Craig Kimbrell?
Yes.
And he has a massive price tag.
Yes.
And was that being seriously considered?
No, they offered him up. No, they offered him up
because they wouldn't pay it.
They offered him up. They offered him up. Straight up deal for Meadows, and they wouldn't pay it. And look, and Kimbrell is not. He's a risk at $16 million. I get it. He was lights out in the first half of the season. He sucked with the White Sox in the second half of the season. But he's 33 years old. He's been one of the premier closers in the game. And to think that he doesn't have a little bit left at 33 and could give you something in your bullpen is ridiculous. And could be this as good as the Rays are getting guys to be better. He could be lights out. Point is, Neander is hamstrung. He is given he's not allowed to add significant payroll. So when you're told, hey, you can't go over this amount of money for your budget, the pool of players that you can actually trade for shrinks dramatically in the major leagues, especially when you're looking for a bona fide major league player that can come in and help you. And they'll say, oh, money. And he said this morning, it's not about money. Bullshit. Until he has $100 million payroll, it's about money. Until he has a $90 million payroll, it's about money. Until he has an $80 million payroll, which maybe they've gotten to once, it's always about money.
I know you got to go here in a second. I inquire one more time. They couldn't get a double-A pitching arm along with this infielder they got. They couldn't. It doesn't cost. They couldn't get a pitching prospect
compensatory B
because they're always big on pitching prospects. What's for that?
They want to get more money in the international pool. It's all this bullshit. It's just ridiculous. You don't trade an all-star outfielder that hits 30 bombs and 100 RBIs for a guy who nobody else is really high on. He's a decent prospect. He's got some good AAA numbers, some good analytics. But no, you get more, especially when you're in the win now mode, which I thought the Rays were, but evidently they're not. So whatever. All right, my friend.
All I know is I'm minding my business on that. I'm minding my business on looking at the Lightning lose to the Maple Leafs last night. That's still a long way to go, though, with a postseason and all that.
Yeah.
So we'll see on the Lightning. But the Rays thing puzzled me. Yeah. But hey, I still want to see them do well and see them succeed. Just the appear to be going on here with the payroll and the whole thing, and do a fantastic job of keeping them honest and saying, don't just buy the company line here and the party line. That stuff, I agree with you. I love Mark Tompkin. He's a phenomenal writer, but that's almost doing their public relations work with that article this past weekend about we want this season to be about the fans and do whatever, and that's like the Rays wrote that.
Exactly.
I saw that.
What I said earlier. That's what I said. Did his PR guy write this? I think he did. All right, my friend. Appreciate your time as always, and thanks, Papa, for picking him up. You're the man.
Yeah, we even have Chick-fil-A for lunch.
He brings you Chick-fil-A when he picks you up?
But we're in the northern suburbs by now, though. We're going to have lunch. I'm back from the Final Four. It's always good to be with you, and you get me anytime, including talking Buccaneer draft coming up.
Let's do that next week. You're the best, TJ Rives. All right. Hey, what a show today. That was fun. That was chock full of a lot of good stuff. If you missed it, you got to go back and listen to the beginning of the show. There's a really fun moment right about 10:30 in the show, so 30 minutes in. You can always download that app, and you can listen to us anytime or go to Spotify and Apple. It's always there as well. Fanstreamsports.com is our website. You can get the show there. Always on YouTube, Facebook, and, of course, Twitter, where most of you watch. Have a great day, everybody. I guess we're going to the Yankees game today, and let's sit in the suite. That'll be fun. We'll do that. And we'll report back tomorrow. See you then.